Welcome everyone. I'm Jackie and I'm the principal of Rainbow Trout International School in Phuket, Thailand. Our kindergarten is the first international kindergarten certified to use the world-renowned Finnish National Core Curriculum. Our partners, Finnish Global Education Solutions, work very closely with us to come up with a curriculum that is in line with international standards. For our sharing today, we're going to focus on how learning environments that are created by the teacher and the school are key to creating a Finnish-style school. Creating learning environments that interest the children will expand their learning opportunities. They need to invoke a sense of wonder, which will heighten their curiosity and imagination. By doing this, their critical and creative thinking skills are enhanced. It helps to build a joyful classroom that gives them a sense of belonging. It's important to create meaningful learning spaces aimed at their interests and developmental needs. Firstly, and most importantly, everything we plan in our school is based on Finnish ECE core principles. One of the most important principles is this culture of trust. The curriculum is quite different to other curriculums in that there is no prescribed document. It doesn't tell you how to teach, but is rather a frame of objectives and aims you need to achieve, and teachers are given the autonomy to decide how learning occurs. Due to this, there is trust in the teacher's professionalism and there's a lot of collaboration. In our school, there's a high level of trust from parents that the learning and development happens without testing. They have to trust that if their children are happy and enjoying their day, something good is happening and developing in the background. Through child-initiated play, joy, exploration and learning is happening without the need to test. It's visible and noticeable in their child every day. We focus on interdependence, learning to care about nature and each other, creating a caring community that builds a sustainable future for all. Holistic education of the child, where parents, teachers and the child have a say in their learning journey. Self-regulation. They learn to help themselves and others in all areas of their lives, serving food, cleaning up after themselves and others, learning about personal hygiene, etc. Play-based education, what do we mean? When we talk about play-based, we mean child-initiated play. There's quite a big difference to playing games and child-initiated play. Research shows that children learn best when they are happy and doing things that interest them. Age-appropriate testing methods, where teaching is based on students' own motivation and enthusiasm, are what holds their interest and keeps them engaged. A happy atmosphere with less pressure gives them more courage to try new things, make mistakes, and especially ask questions. Child's holistic well-being. We focus on all aspects of their development, not just academics. Valuing childhood. Let them be children. Research shows that the brain develops through age-appropriate activities, and if they are pushed to doing things too soon, the connections they need are lost. They will never get this time back. Learning for life? Well, what is that? Learning about everyday life skills. Through play, we develop a love of learning by igniting the imagination and learning through doing real life things, like gardening, entrepreneurship, building our own environments, and so on. Looking at the way the curriculum framework works, we will show you some examples of our school activities and learning opportunities. As you can see, this is a very broad framework and allows the teacher to find out the children's strengths and interests in order to plan the pedagogical activities that will keep them happy, engaged, and developing in a holistic way. We focus on developing their transversal competences which are the 21st century skills they will need throughout their lives. The foundation of the curriculum is based on good operational culture of the school, the pedagogical documentation and working methods, as well as close cooperation with parents. Evaluation and development, which differs from testing, is more about continuous observation and collaboration with the parents. But that's a whole nother webinar on its own.
Hello, my name is Teacher Jo and I'm teaching the 5 to 6-year-olds in the Blue Trout classroom. I think the most important thing is to build a joyful classroom. Here at Rainbow Trout, we want the children to play outside and be part of nature. And if they are happy, they are content and they are curious, and then they want to learn, they love learning. If they love learning, then you don't have to spend so much time correcting behaviors. So in my classroom, building a joyful environment is to really know your children, know each one of them, ask them how their day was, know what activities they are interested in out of school. Greet them by name every day and make eye contact. We have lots of rituals in our classroom that glues us together and makes for a content classroom environment. During today's activity, we created our own spaceship. So the past few weeks we have had the theme of space in our integrated math and science. So we talked about space and Earth. We learned about Earth first and living things, non-living things. We incorporated shapes and we learned about 2D shapes, 3D shapes. We created a hand scanner for our classroom, which the kids absolutely love, and they have codes they input there every day. Sometimes it's a really long procedure to get them into class. And today we finally put it together and we started painting the outside. So as we progress during the next few weeks, we will build the spaceship further, travel to different planets and learn about those planets. So this was just the start of a long journey that we will continue on during the following next weeks.
An example of this is our K3 class, who created an integrated space theme for their classroom. This theme enabled them to do cross-curricular activities while developing their 21st century skills. Each integrated theme can last for more than a week. The time span can evolve along with the interests of the children. Another main focus is learning by doing. While other students are learning through books and pictures and worksheets, our students are learning by doing. They are using their hands and they're getting outside, they're getting dirty and they're having fun. We believe that a hands-on approach to learning, and when students interact with their environment, they get a deeper understanding of concepts presented. In this example, our K2 is cultivating their own garden.
Hello, my name is Tyler, and I'm the head teacher of the Green Trout classroom. Children are tactile and sensory learners, and working in the garden provides them with an opportunity to breathe in the fresh air and explore different scents from plants to flowers, as well as even freshly cut grass. Growing herbs and produce can encourage healthy eating habits, which will really help their little bodies grow.
In learning by doing, the main outcomes in this garden project were responsibility from caring for plants, understanding as they learn about the cause and effect. For example, plants die without water, weeds compete with plants. They learn self-confidence. They learn a love of nature, reasoning and discovery, learning about the science of plants, animals, weather, the environment, nutrition and simple construction, all by doing. Physical activity, doing something fun and productive. Cooperation, including shared play activity and teamwork. Creativity, finding new and exciting ways to grow food, and most importantly, nutrition, learning about where fresh food comes from. So for our pre-K and K1 students, those children between 2 and 4, we create many sensory opportunities for them inside and outside the classroom. 5 reasons why sensory play is so beneficial is: research shows that sensory play builds nerve connections in the brain's pathways. These connections enhance the child's ability to complete more complex learning tasks. Sensory play supports language development, cognitive growth, fine and gross motor skills, problem-solving skills, and social interaction. This type of play aids in developing and enhancing memory. Sensory play is great for calming an anxious or frustrated child.
Hi, my name is Teacher Abby, and I am the head teacher for Red Trout class here at Phuket's International Finnish School. Today I am going to be speaking about sensory play and exactly why I love sensory play so much. Sensory activities facilitate exploration and naturally encourage children to use scientific processes while they play, create, investigate, and explore. The sensory activities allow children to refine their thresholds for different sensory information, helping their brain to create stronger connections to process and respond to sensory information. The use of sensory play can assist the child in touching, smelling, and playing with the texture in an environment with little expectation.
In all areas of our school, we use a student-centered approach. When our teachers are planning their lessons and their activities, they link them to the interests of the students. The students' individual development stage, their needs and interests are always taken into account. Thinking, social and emotional skills are always taken into account, and there's a lot of collaborative learning. Teacher as a facilitator, guiding and providing the learning environment. The main role of a teacher in student-centered approach is to be a facilitator. You need to emphasize the relationship between the student and the teacher. You need to support the students' exploration, independence and hands-on learning. You need to be a delegator. You need to support students in autonomy, answer questions and direct students as needed. You need to be a personal role model. You need to lead the students by example. You need to show them how to access and use the information. So what is the role of a student in student-centered approach? They have to be an active learner. They have to learn by exploring. They need to reflect, they need to think critically, analyze and solve problems. They need to find an inner motivation to learn, and that is what the teacher facilitates.
I'm Anina and I teach grade 1. I want to encourage my students to make observations and learn hands-on as much as possible, as it really develops their natural curiosity and sparks the inner motivation to learn. For example, in the warm-up that we made for Rocks and Minerals unit, they get to experience with real rock crystals. That's very nice and unique. And even now, months after that unit, 4-year-olds are rock hounding in the yard and throwing around rock cycle vocabulary like sedimentary rocks. To me, that's amazing to observe, to see that joy of learning and how effortless learning that way seems.
As an example, here is a 4-corner warm-up activity. Using a 4-corner warm-up method, the teacher sets up 4 different stations in the classroom so children can explore each one to ignite their curiosity. In this warm-up activity, the teacher outlines and acts as a facilitator to offer a new perspective to the topic and to spark the curiosity. It also helps students to listen to their inner selves and to trust their instinct. It encourages decision-making and they learn by exploring, by igniting the inner motivation to learn.
Minun toiveena on, että kaikki meidän oppilaat menestyy ja on onnellisia ja painoarvo erityisesti onnellisuudella. I want these kids here to be successful and happy, emphasis on happiness.
Thank you for your time, and we hope that you've gained some interesting information today. We're really looking forward to hearing from you and answering any questions you have.